Journey to God's House, chapter 22, entitled, If It Walks Like a Duck, Then You're a Brief Wearing Fairy. So, three background stories before the main story. First, whenever someone's sexual orientation came up, the Bethel mantra was, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Meaning, if a man looked or acted effeminate, then he was gay. Why talk about it any further? Enough said, case closed, discussion over. Another thing was that there was a billboard. There were billboards all over New York City with male models wearing only skimpy briefs. This caused a big stir in Bethel for being very provocative. And of course, the sisters loved these billboards because the models were built and wearing the briefs that they did, their bulge was very prominent. And the Bethel men simply dismissed the billboard as gay because aren't all male models gay? Enough said, case closed, discussion over. Final thing you need to know is that he wore colored briefs, very similar to one of the models on the billboards. Yet nobody saw him wearing his underwear except his roommates and the guys in the locker room. So, one day he was changing into his work clothes in the locker room and the guys were cutting up like usual. Then there was RW. RW was the top dog in the locker room. He had the highest seniority and the highest title. So when he cracked up on you, you took it like a man and didn't say anything back. No one lived to tell their story of cutting back on RW because story goes that they were soon dismissed after getting back at RW. On this particular day, RW zeroed in on Brock and said, "Hey Brock, I was driving and saw that billboard today with your boy on it. How's he doing? You guys get together yet?" And of course, since everyone knew which billboard he was talking about, the locker room busted out laughing. Brock says, "Where did that come from? Why would you say something like that to me?" RW says, "Well, you both wear the same underwear, so I thought you knew each other." And of course, the locker room busts out with laughter, so on and so forth. Brock says, "Are you trying to say I'm gay?" And then RW says, "Well, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck." And that is followed with more locker room laughter. But this was no laughing matter to Brock. And so the conversation escalates. They take their conversation outside of the locker room. And he has his say with RW. And the only thing RW tries to do is guilt Brock into changing his colored briefs because they looked very much like the male model on the billboard. So their conversation comes down to Brock basically telling the guy, "Hey, if you just come to me man to man, brother to brother, and talk to me about how I have offended you with my colored briefs, then I'll change them." Of course, the way it ended, he never got an apology from this little man, RW. Not a personal one, let alone a public one. And of course, he wouldn't actually humble himself to ask another man, Brock Talon, to change his underwear. This story is just so crazy. I couldn't help but laugh about it because seriously, you're so offended by someone's colored briefs that you had to insinuate that he was not only gay, but kind of like not a spiritual person, not a Christian, and certainly not a Jehovah's Witness. Oh boy. So anyways, by the time this was over and said and done, His journey had slowed and his idealism diminished considerably. The hope of finding the spiritual paradise, the place where God lives, began to fade. And I wouldn't doubt it. If you can't go work at a place and someone be jealous of your underwear, good Lord. Anyways, this is going to end this chapter. Thanks for listening. Thank you for taking time to listen to my summary of the book, Journey to God's House. Post your comments, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next chapter.